A cloudless morning. There was a Y cracked in your sidewalk right next to the stoop where we spend nights and mornings smoking away the awkward quiet moments that we both secretly enjoy, especially when the sun is just beginning to rise and a man rides by on his blue 10-speed and we only need to wait 23 minutes for the corner coffee shop to open and serve us our Americanos and mochas. But one cigarette will not last that long, so we talk about Nair and your legs and those wide stares. It makes me wonder why you wouldn't want me when you leave. So I don't know if you guys have like a problem with spam emails, but at my office I get like now 10 a day for, Viagra and other random things. So if it has a really good subject, as a title. Please kiss my womb. I long to feel the kiss of my child in my womb. His lips must have brushed it at least once, puckered the sac against the uterus, against the skin of the abdomen, against his father's hands and lips, which go directly then against mine. Still, I feel nothing. At 7 months, 23 days, he kicked. My skin shook against his hand, over the small intestine, over the bladder, the womb, the sac. Tiny toes shook his umbilical cord, which shook it around his left arm, his shoulder, the neck. Nothing. Help you. Death will pursue you as your hands tremble from ache. Your hair falls to floors. Your heart hiccups its beats. I will not keep you. I've picked out a gravestone with something etched who might protect you the way I could not. The casket is lined with red velvet to warm your blood, to warm your bones the way your blood cannot. I think you will be happy there, your arms gripping the ribs in tight embrace the way only death can. Did Jesus Christ die for me? A Slovak asked if I read my Bible daily. Says I need God. I read it once when I was 12, I told him. I know he should not cast the first stone, but for 3 seconds outside the grocery store, he glanced at me as though I were a whore. My brown turtleneck and long blue trench were not enough to cover the sin we know I must bleed. My jeans must have been too tight or my heels too high. The Slovak said I would be whiter than snow if I took his God between my palms. But he did not offer to pray with me, did not offer to save me. When I was 5, my best friend prayed and saved me. But this old man with thick accent said I needed to do the work. All he can offer is God, and all he has offered is paper. Next poem is in the 12th section. An entry to the Guinness Book of World Records for the world's slowest step. My body is taking its time to fail. At age 9, venom leaked from my appendix, was scooped out by a redhead doctor who hated kids. At age 13, me on all fours, they found a leak in my heart and the slow coo of its murmur. At 15, I almost had a heart attack. My thyroid killed itself when radiation failed. By 17, my eyes bulged from their sockets. 12 surgeries and 103 stitches later, they were pushed back by the index finger of a doctor. At 19, I had my first colonoscopy. The intestines no longer functioned. An MRI showed doctors I had yet to grow a brain tumor. My gallbladder does not work with me. My blood does not swim to the extremities. By age 23, filled sinuses flood my face. I can no longer breathe. My insurance has stopped paying. They say it can't be much longer. Hiding beneath the bay. You make men hard. Force them to confess how many lovers they've had, why they've chosen you, and how clean the blood is in their bodies. My blood is not clean. I met you in Houston and tried to hide behind my blonde hair, protruding hips, But you saw me the way we saw the decaying fish on the beach or the omens that came after drinking Greek coffee. There is no way to stay below the surface unless I am below your surface. I will fight to be in you as those worms fought to be in the fish's belly. Please kiss my womb, version 2. My email tells me I need to feel your length so far up me, my ovaries shake with your thrust, until it feels almost like you will come out my mouth. This email does not say how a woman has no nerve endings that far up. It does not tell me how I would feel that. But please, do try. Try to push your penis lips this high in me. Every centimeter will count. Let my womb feel lust. Old and mature. I cannot wait to grow old with you, to reach an age where our tired knees and knuckles stop aching by drinking, and our lives are enhanced by vitamins for mature adults and Viagra. I receive 11 emails a week telling me how to lengthen your penis or help you keep an erection, but we won't need this. When we are old and somehow stop thinking of sex, I promise we'll visit the Oregon Theater for mature adults and sit in seats soaked in semen and lubes and watch old 50s films of a mature woman who, when bending to check on her baking banana bread, is suddenly plowed by her milkman on Viagra and the bread burns. We too will become hot, bend our bodies over armrests, leave our fluids on sweaty seats, and we will watch this woman every day until once again we crave sex and return home to toast the theater with tonic and gin. From an artist's proof. A man stands with a sapling at a pond in Montana. The sun is beginning its rise or finishing fall. Sage lines the water, the only non-dry land for 2 miles. He is fishing for trout, silver-scale nothings that swim in school clumps where too much sex occurs. He always leaves with plenty of heads hanging on a hook, walks to a home that is somewhere unseen. Fishing is his peaceful time. These trout, skins sliding against skins, provide his only feel of another body. He cradles the ones he catches, hands on the belly until the flapping of fins and tail has ceased. He cooks and eats the creature, thinking he might feel it in his stomach, that somehow it might speak through his mouth. Fish have no thought, and the only sensation in him is the fullness from overeating. Every day he eats these trout just to feel their pain. That's 3 more poems. Your logic flaw. Why, when I write about sex, you assume love. When I write of anger, you assume hate. And I write of sadness, you assume it is mine. I am not the train out of nubes that we rode from Salta. You cannot ride the soles of my feet up my arteries until you reach the clouds sloping around our destination of Puna. The high plain, the plain flat ground of me that you find so easy to read. Read this. 30,000 tours take that train every year, and I hope that 30,000 readers will see these words that mean something to strangers but should mean little to you. You never took the tracks I laid, so let your eyes climb down this cloudless ladder of lines that do not mean you know me. And because you know me does not mean that you know these lines. Eclectus parrots. Males are green for camouflage in jungles of trees. Females red, a beacon guiding others to home in tall timber. Both are sluts. Tail feathers twitching for more than 7 mates in one day. It's understandable for the women. To act like each male is the father of her eggs, he regurgitates brown bugs for her to eat. But the male vomits for several ladies and gets laid at every opportunity. We are still studying how he keeps it up so long. Why these birds with so many STDs? Why, like others of other species, it's all about sex instead of love. And this last poem is a prose poem that's one sentence, and I like to try to challenge myself to read it like it's one sentence, so I might read a little fast to see how it goes. A gift for you. I never told you I have a callus on the top third of my left index finger from knitting you a lavender mist sweater with a blunt needle that longs to lick my blood like a real needle but has to settle for the soft circular hugs of the yarn I twisted from the twine of a gum tree, the same gum tree an aboriginal boy once twirled me a necklace from that had a shell we dug from the Tasman Sea as its jewel enclasped with a piece of bark that looked like the tree I used to climb on in my backyard, with giant leaves somersaulting, and my sister called Black Beauty because she is obsessed with horses, especially black Friesians, because their hooves are covered by fur that look elegant like the feathers on a hat my aunt once wore at a family reunion at my grandfather's barbecue pit, where the birds there mistook them for their own foliage, and when the feather roots could not be freed, instead flew off with the entire wicker hat to warm their eggs the same way I hope to warm you with this sweater.